Greetings, ladies and metal gents, and welcome to today's third edition of RE330, where I take old stories I've narrated and updated into modern audio standards. This particular story is called Predator, written by nerdovirales. I've seen the stars blink, burning through their lives. I've floated for a cosmic season, my last meal dying inside of me, slow. I listen for the next meal, the song of structure, of complexity. It flickers in the landscape, something alive, something sustaining. The earth is quiet but irresistible. I pick it apart into sounds, images, a vision of life, awake, morsel. Earth sings to me. Automated detection algorithms pinged a change in the constellation of Canis Major, ragging the area for more detailed imaging and analysis by a human. Telescope time is rationed according to need. More dust around Tavi Star. Spectroscopy on brown dwarfs with unknown exoplanets, mapping the interaction between a pair of black holes. By the time the dish turned towards Canis Major, 3 weeks had already passed. Another day was lost to the graduate student hangover, then several more to the professor's grant application deadline. The results were picked apart in a lab meeting and assumed to be an artifact. So another set of imaging was scheduled. 2 full months had passed by the time the lab went public with their results. A new star in the constellation of Canis Major. It was dim, but it was there. The light from the star was blue-shifted, suggesting it was moving towards Earth. The second image was more blue-shifted than the first, suggesting it was speeding up. The broader astronomical community turned their attention to the new star, eager to validate or disprove this peculiar finding. Instrumental errors were ruled out by use of several other telescopes. Processing errors were ruled out by thorough open data analysis. More details on the object were gathered. It was confirmed to be real and found to be moving towards the Earth at a fraction of its light speed. It was currently 62 ± 5 light years away, suggesting that it would pass through the solar system in between 70 and 210 years' time, depending on the rate of acceleration. It wasn't a familiar type of star. Indeed, it didn't appear to be a star at all. Determining its composition was proving to be a problem, as the spectrographic data reflected several unknown elements. It took years of proposing and discarding hypotheses, the work of hundreds of research groups. Careers were made and lost in that time. As the outlandish truth came to be understood, the object had started moving towards Earth when the first human-made radio waves had reached it. The illumination was coming from vast fusion reactors. There were regular pulses of information coming from the object, some of which resembled our earliest radio messages, growing louder and more complex as more of our signals reached it. The media said that it was singing to itself. It was a nuclear-powered death machine, that it was coming for us. We were afraid. But we had time, so we studied it. As it grew in the sky, so did our understanding. We laid out contingency plans within plans within plans. The prey is small, as they should be. They do not want to be eaten. They scream, they beg, they fight, like all the rest. Carbon ash, nitrogen fresh, hydrogen burn, oxygen sour. I taste them all. Their thinking substrate lingers. They die inside me, slow. My hunger is satiated. I swim between the stars, leaving a quiet husk. I float and listen for the next meal. It wasn't as large as expected, for something to survive in the void for a millennium. To swim by nuclear fusion, to resist the most extreme damage. We feared it was a planet killer, a sentient Death Star, the product of some demented civilizational war left running on autopilot. In truth, it was only kilometers in length, like a handful of skyscrapers laid down end to end. It was closer to an animal than to a machine, a product of familiar evolution in a vastly unfamiliar environment. Like most predators, they could spend long periods without food, going through cycles of gorging and hibernating. Reptiles were the common point of reference. Godzilla, king of the monsters, Mordred, the Arthurian dragon, Gander, and the Norse world serpent. It didn't sink in just how off these comparisons were until it arrived. It had tentacles that would make Cthulhu blush. The way it moved, it was alien in the truest sense, wholly unlike the terrors of our imagination. A body of unknown matter, evolved in some distant crucible. A mind projecting thoughts in radio. We listened to it and picked that mind apart. We came to understand it in a way that is only possible from the outside, only possible from an alien. We found the drives and brakes, the stimulus it craved, and those it despised. Then we reflected that mind back on itself. It was simple, really. If that mind throws out radio waves, they must interact with it in some way. Careful modulation of radio allowed us to pluck the senses and give the predator the world that it expected. Hungering, feeding, dominating, invisible chains to hold it in place, an inescapable trap. Then we steered the content body down to earth. We will hold it this way for decades. There is so much to learn. Millennia-long hibernation, ultra-sensitive signal detection, enzymatic fusion drives, indestructible armor plate. And when the time comes to set it free, well, then we'll have done what we do with predators who come too close to the campfire. I've seen so many stars blink, burning through their lives. I have floated for cosmic seasons. My last meal is long dead. That morsel, Earth. I listen for the next meal, but the landscape is silent. Nothing alive, nothing sustaining. I'm starving. I'm weak. I'm afraid. An unfamiliar song, loud and terrifying. The cosmos sings in unison. Each star is a Dyson cell, fed by veins of dark matter. A figure beyond comprehension reaches out, and I know it'll consume me. I swim away with all my strength, and I'm cradled by it. I cower as galaxies move to extinguish me, and I'm nurtured by it. I am captured in the grasp, and I am loved by it. Who's a good boy? I am. End of story. I would like to thank our T5 members and patrons, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Vidmori, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.